Welcome to this DaVinci Resolve Fusion node breakdown. Today's node is the Ward node. So we're going to jump into Fusion, and we've got a little setup here. And if you remember our last few material nodes we went over the blend. And if I bring that in, we go to our specular. We can change our specular and our little reflection kind of looks like that. We also went over the Fong. So if I bring that in, you can see our specular like little reflection is a little tighter, so it makes stuff look a little shinier. And today we're going to be going over the Ward node. So let's bring in a Ward. And the only difference between this and any other material node is pretty much our reflection. So under the Ward node, instead of just having one spread for the refraction, we've got spread U and spread V. Meaning we can change the spread on our U, and we can change the spread on our V. So this is the material node we use a lot of times when we're creating metal type materials, or if we need some type of unique reflection. And before I jump in that, if we go to our diffuse, we've got all the same color options that we have for all our other nodes. It's a little bright. As well as our alpha and our opacity. And we have the same transmittance options. So like I said, this node is pretty much exactly like the blend and the Fong node, other than our ability to spread our reflection. And on top of that, we can bring in individual images to affect this. For instance, if I brought in a fast noise and input it into our spread U texture, we can go to our fast noise node and we can change up the scale so you can see we can start getting unique reflections. Change our contrast up, change our detail, and we can bring this into our spread V texture as well. And then on the Ward node, we can independently change the spread of our V and our U. Let's go back here and change up our reflection a little bit so it's a little more unique. There we go. And then of course on our inputs, we can bring in materials if we want. And we can bring in a specular if we want, or I can bring in an AO and put that into our specular intensity or color. Now, let me clarify something on this stuff too. So I'm going to zoom into our little reflection. And this may be something I didn't quite clarify on our other node breakdowns. But if I took our AO and input it into our specular color material, if you notice, we can see that specular, those little dots, and hopefully our YouTube compression allows us to see that. If I go to our shape here and rotate it, you can see those specular things kind of happening. But the only thing is this footage right here doesn't have any alpha. If we go down here and we look at our alpha values, it's all 1 because there is no transparency or anything in this AO. And on our node, this, let me find it, specular intensity is looking for transparencies to operate correctly. So if I just input this into, let me get rid of that, input this into our specular intensity material, nothing happens. because it's one across the board on our image. Our alpha is just one across the board. There is no transparencies. So if I was to make this AO a transparent image, and I'll just do that real fast, kind of the cheat way, and add a bitmap. And there are better ways to do this, just so you have a single image with transparency, but I'm just going to do it all in Fusion here real quick. I'm just going to take a bitmap and take our image, and I'm going to use our luminance. And now if you notice down here on the bottom, I've got alpha values changing. So I'm getting transparencies, but unfortunately you cannot bring this into our node. You are not allowed to bring this bitmap into the node. So we could add a saver, and let's just go ahead and export this out as EXR with transparencies. And let's go up to Fusion, render all saves. And like I said, it's rendering EXR for everything. So there's much more efficient ways to get a transparent image back in here other than rendering out all these EXRs. So by all means, use Photoshop, do whatever you got to do to recreate that media with transparencies. And we're done. I can bring in a loader and load up our EXR. Now I can bring that AO in, and let me switch to our render so we can watch what's happening here. But now I can bring that AO in into my specular intensity material. So now if you notice, that's affecting the intensity of that lighting. So if I go to our shape and I rotate around, you can see that affecting that light a lot more as far as the intensity. But I could also bring it into our specular color material to make it even more prevalent. So that is a better way to, that is a better way to introduce specular information into your materials, is making sure you have a transparent material going into that specular intensity. So that looks much nicer than the other way. But now we can go ahead and bring in, let's say, a bump map. So let's bring in a roughness and a bump map. We're going to input this into our bump map material, this into our bump. We'll change that to 5 and change our height. So now we've got some bumpiness going on. And if I rotate this, you can see that reflection affecting much better. But look, you really have to watch for these seams on these materials because that light will affect it. Same with if I was to rotate this on the Z and then rotate this around to spin, it's going to do odd things to our little light there. So additionally, this light, our spotlight, is going to affect how it looks as well. So now that I'm on my spotlight, if I start moving my spotlight around, you can see that's going to affect how our little reflection looks and interacts with our material. So that is the Ward node. I will see you in the next node breakdown.